Last part. We escorted Federation President Okeg to a meeting on Khitomer as a prelude for peace talks with the Klingon Empire to end the war. As a beginning offering, we openly prepared to share all our data with Species 8472, the Undine, with the Klingons. However, Rebel Gorn, at odds with the Empire's occupation of their territory, attacked the conference, which gave Ambassador Bavat and an unknown human a chance to abscond with the EMH Doctor. Now, Captain Sean of the Belfast, Lieutenant Miral Paris and us have to drive off these attackers while securing the dignitaries before we make a new plan of action.
I knew I should have brought some cryo grenades along.
The Gorn have several weak with them, large, heavily built Gorn humanoid forms which have a habit of throwing anything they can pick up as melee weapons. While the soldiers behind them fall, the mass and personal shielding of the Raweek takes a lot more to put down.
We need to take down the last remaining Gorn.
This is a very small strike team emerging in waves. They must have known that they weren't leaving here alive. I mean, to put it bluntly, they beamed down to a Klingon world with less than 30 of them and started attacking. What was their plan here? Are they just to cover Bavat's escape, or is this a opportunistic move? Either way, the firefight is furious but brief, and then the threat seems past.
Our warriors have identified additional rebel Gorn on the ground. It won't be long before they reach our location. As for Bavat, the Petach has conveniently beamed up to his vessel. He must have had allies on the inside, Klingons willing to look the other way and smuggle in his devices. Or perhaps this is another conspiracy.
I assure you the Federation has nothing to do with this, Captain Cogran. I can't say the same for Bavat, though. The Belfast has managed to lock onto his ship with a tractor beam, but I'm not sure how long it'll hold. Our scans show the Doctor is aboard, so we'll need to be careful.
The Armiger reports that Bavat's vessel is equipped with abnormal technology. It could be hiding some tricks, so we stand ready to return to orbit and assist.
I'm coming with you. We need to retrieve the Doctor. That's non-negotiable.
Feel like there's a personal reason there too.
All right, but I know you well, Miral. Get back in one piece, and no unnecessary risks. That's also non-negotiable. Understood? Cogran and I will stay behind to deal with the Gorn and evacuate the delegations. Belfast, this is Captain Sean. Beam the lieutenant directly to the bridge. Paris, you've got the con. Stay safe.
You'll stick with us, Captain. Promise. We return to the Armiger to find that the Belfast does indeed have Bavat in the tractor beam.
This is Lieutenant Paris aboard the Belfast. We have a lock on Bavat's ship, the IKS Warvig. Recommend we hail him together before we take any drastic measures. Diplomacy first.
The Warvig appears to be a Cavort-class bird of prey, but unlike prior versions. We agree that while we have him, we should see if we can resolve this without bloodshed. After all, clearly he's on the back foot.
Nutpu! You dare not fight a real Klingon, one of prowess and might? I suppose your Hale is meant to initiate some sort of negotiation. Which puch! I do not negotiate with those who would see the Klingon Empire become docile and prevent its path towards true glory.
We can ask him to surrender the Doctor, but I think that's not going to cut it, what with his tone. So instead, we insinuate that our tactical officer Tarsi is ready with a barrage of torpedoes and looking for an excuse.
Cool. Request denied. It would be a shame to return your Doctor so soon. Extracting him from Khitomer was child's play. Fascinating what can be achieved when the Empire is so divided and unfocused. But Klingons never shy away from a challenge. Let the kuvah'magh retrieve him herself and prove she has the heart of a true warrior.
It can't be all this is about.
My heart is just fine, Bavat. I wish we could say the same for you, you mahwi. The Klingon Empire agreed to convene on the Federation's ceasefire proposal. It is you who is in violation of the agreement, and in direct disobedience of the High Council. They should have you discommended, you pet.
Lieutenant Hawk, there are incoming signatures. He was just stalling for time. The Belfast didn't take much damage, but it was enough to take out their tractor beam at least.
Bhavat has escaped with the Doctor. The Belfast is tracking his ship's ion trail. Time to show these what we're made of. Give it all you got.
There are only 2 bird of preys, but they're surprisingly robust. We managed to destroy one with a torpedo barrage, but then the second goes to cloak. Fortunately, we're able to track where it is, if not get a target lock, until it drops the cloak to resume its attack.
That was the last of them. Receiving a hail from the Khitomer. I'm opening a multi-channel.
Belfast, this is Captain Sean. The situation is under control on Khitomer. We found a second device on stage attached to the podium and neutralized it. The device has the ability to disrupt photonic emissions and store holographic data, like a capsule. What's your status? Have you retrieved the Doctor?
Negative. Bhavat called in reinforcements to cover his escape. More thrown into the grinder. It sounds like he's got the Doctor contained within his emitter, but we're tracking the warp trail now.
I missed a device, but we scanned the entire area. How is that possible? I increased my tricorder sensor aperture. I ran a multispectral sweep. I even enhanced subspace resolution and set up a level 3 perimeter scan. I should have set up a level 4 scan. This is my fault.
Steady, Lieutenant. The first device was no doubt a red herring planted in the room to distract us from the second, which in turn was shielded from our sensors by an experimental chronoton-charged cloaking field. That second device was ever so slightly displaced in time. Your tricorder couldn't have picked up on it. It took a whole group of scientists from several different delegations to come to that same conclusion.
We all missed it because we were focused on protecting the President, not a hologram. Clearly the Doctor was his real objective.
Captain, we need to go after the Doctor. The Belfast is tracking Bhavat's warp signature, ion trail, and projected course. I've got all the data I need.
What the Belfast needs to do is remain stationed in orbit of Khitomer while President Okeg meets with the Klingon High Council. This attack has led to some very tense exchanges and great mistrust in the Federation and Gorn delegations. Going after the Doctor is too risky. We'll need to send our data over to an experienced strike team and let them handle it.
Captain, the Armiger is an experienced strike team. We can be on it now while the trail is fresh. Time is likely of the essence, and we can take Paris with us. Leave the Belfast here to protect the President.
I agree. Besides, the Doctor is not only one of the most brilliant minds in Starfleet, but he's also my godfather. He's family, Captain.
I can't argue with that. But for that same reason, I'll need you back in one piece after your mission. I can't lose you too, Lieutenant. The Belfast has to remain to supervise the situation on Khitomer and escort Starfleet 1 back to Federation space. I hope I'm not making a mistake by staying behind. But duty calls. Good luck, and take care.
Lieutenant Paris, prepare for transport.
1 to beam over. Quite the fine ship you have. Here's the data the Belfast retrieved during our encounter with the Klingons. We've tracked the Warvig to the Hatoria system.
Hatoria? That's a binary star system in Klingon space. There's a colony there, non-military from records, though it is the site of the first contact between Vulcans and the Klingon Empire. We set a course at maximum warp. We arrived to see a lot of Klingon ships and a roiling nebula covering half the system.
We've arrived, and in enemy territory no less. Sensors are picking up on multiple vessels in the area. Klingon patrol ships. Planetary archives also show Hatoria is home to a large nebula and an abandoned facility on the ground. I'm guessing that's where Bhavat is holding the Doctor.
I see. So, how do we get to the planet?
We can either use the nebula's ionized gas to scatter our ship signal and travel at low impulse to conceal our movements till we reach transporter range, or we can go in guns blazing and risk alerting the Klingons on the ground. Your call.
While she makes it fairly obvious that one option risks the Doctor and compromising our rescue, what she doesn't say is that the nebula's effects will also strip our shielding, so if we are discovered, we will have no defense. So we'll just have to be extra sure that we're not discovered. We set a course for the debris and gas cloud, and take note that the area is surrounded by more Klingon vessels. It matters little if these Klingons are allied with B'vat or not. The truth is that we're still at war, and we'd be destroyed before anyone thought to ask a single question.
Recommend we travel at low velocity. 1/4 impulse should do the trick.
The radiation, as predicted, drops our shields and prevents them from being raised again, and our weapons cease functioning. We move steadily from checkpoint to checkpoint, and despite what Miral Paris advises, you can go for maximum impulse, but not full impulse.
We've reached the halfway mark. Hang in there, Doctor. We're coming for you. All right, we're nearing the target coordinates. Time to prepare a team.
Alright, 4 people. Paris, Met, Tarsi, join me in the transporter room. Armiger, retreat into the nebula after our beam down.
We're almost within transporter range of Hatoria. Let's move on. We are within transporter range. I don't think the Klingons have detected us yet. Still, we better bring some backup. Ready to beam down when you are.
As I was saying, the nanoprobes developed to counter the Undine are Wait a minute. Where am I?
B'jach Emelv, you fool! Sing, the data! Is it ready?
Soon, B'vat. I am extracting the genetic information from the Doctor's holomatrix. It'll take some time to bypass his security subroutines.
You know, in some cultures, it is considered ill-mannered to interrupt a sentient life form, especially a brilliant physician. If you're interested, my research paper, The Art of Turn-Taking, a study on conversational analysis in Delta Quadrant species, has...
Hold your tongue, you insufferable projection of wasted photons!
Oh, I did not dress for this. At least Tarsi's okay.
According to the Federation's archives, this facility used to be a penal colony and still houses functional security systems to this day. Speaking of, I'm picking up on a photonic signal that matches the Doctor's holosignature, but it's faint. My guess is he's being held in one of the facility's lower levels. Stay alert. We don't know what B'vat has in store for us.
Whatever it is, I hope it's warm. The towering facility looks every bit the prison described, clearly built into the mountainside and glowing with the preferred Klingon red light. The main door is sealed, but it's a simple encryption that we've long ago cracked.
I'll cover you. Lead the way.
The initial chamber appears to be little more than a storeroom with a few discarded crates and a power conduit. We can see signs of snow on the interior floor, showing that the door was recently opened before we got here. Proceeding in, we find a cavernous chamber built around a central column.
Unlock your security protocols and give me the data, Patach!
Ambassador B'vat, this is absolutely ludicrous behavior, and very dishonorable, I'll have you know. I refuse to be probed any further. If you have developed a passion for genetics, then I encourage you to conduct your own research. I am sure you will find the funding.
Sing, increase the hologram sensitivity calibrations, and bypass safety protocols.
That hurt! This is not how one treats a guest in their repurposed prison. Or perhaps it is.
They're hurting him. I'm sending out an electromagnetic pulse to disrupt that console. It'll buy us some time. By tampering with the Doctor's sensitivity calibrations, Bhavat and Singh are making sure that he feels pain the way a biological life form would. Effectively, they're torturing him. I know Captain Sean said not to take risks, but I'm not sure we've got much of a choice. We need to think of something fast.
So Bhavat seems to be trying to extract information on genetic data, right? Well, I think we need to gather more intel on just what exactly he and Singh are looking for.
Not a bad plan. We'll investigate the facility as we head towards the Doctor's coordinates. But let's do this quickly. I can't let this go on for much longer.
Agreed. Let's move. On this level, there's a door to the right, and it looks to be the only other point of egress, so we head for it.
Before you go any further, let's talk about the facility's security sweeps. Some areas of the facility are being scanned periodically by security consoles. Unapproved life forms that come into contact with the scans will likely trigger an alarm, alerting nearby enemies or heightening security protocols. We should avoid detection if possible, and find a way to deactivate the scanners. Heads up. The area ahead of us is being scanned. My scans are picking up on low-level electromagnetic signals coming from beyond that sweep.
We can see a representation of the scanning field in motion, a red barrier that if we go through immediately sends the Klingon security team to our location. However, we can avoid them.
Now what do we have in here? Consoles running on residual power.
It looks like there's some open logs on them. Man, the security in this place really has kind of degraded with time, hasn't it?
Amar Noonien Singh, Research Log, File 13. My first experiment proved unsuccessful. A disappointment. The host biology is highly aggressive at the cellular level and rejecting genetic input. I will adapt my experiments to suppress any existing dominant cells going forward. Amar Noonien Singh, Research Log, File 14. Results are now beginning to show promise, but I fear I might have overcompensated. Rapid mutation has led to instability in the subject genome. To counter this, I plan to create an epigenetic framework with the purpose of culling damaged cells. If we lose a few test subjects in the process, so be it.
Augmentation experiments.
Amar Noonien Singh, Research Log, File 19. After careful calculations, I have achieved my first breakthrough. Whereas some subjects were unable to withstand further testing, others are now thriving. In particular, Subject GU-75 has impressed Bhavat.
Well, we've made copies of these, so we can clearly link that Singh and Bhavat are working together.
They're experimenting on people.
They are indeed. Hold up. This one's got a Federation file.
The primary focus of the project is gerontology, the study of aging in various life forms. The Federation Science Council has given me permission to test various forms of genetic modification to find treatments of degenerative diseases such as Irumodic syndrome. We're making significant progress.
Although Federation law forbids genetic tampering, exceptions have been made in recent years to explore strictly medical pursuits, and even these are classified.
Yes. How did Bhavat and Singh get their hands on proprietary Federation logs? We can't let them keep this data. We need to destroy it.
An issue for another day, but there's more.
It's not a proud moment in Earth's history either. Khan was the greatest of the augmented conquerors in the eugenics wars. He was the ruler of more than a quarter of Earth, and he treated those he ruled like slaves. Unlike some of the other so-called genetic supermen, Khan only enslaved his people rather than massacre them. Some consider him to be the best of the tyrants. A dubious honor, to be sure. Augments like Khan Noonien Singh caused the death of millions.
Pause. Amar Noonien Singh seems to be reviving his ancestors' legacy in some attempt at supremacy once again, though it makes sense to see Bashir at the head of pioneering the genetic medical research.
When the people rose up against the augment tyrants, Khan and some of his people escaped into space on a sleeper ship. I suspect you heard a lot about Khan's clashes with Captain Kirk at Starfleet Academy. I remember running the Mutara Nebula simulator in my senior year there. It was a singular experience.
Yeah, sure, I was at the academy for that. I totally didn't time jump and skip over that.
I'm all for eradicating degenerative diseases, but not if it means another eugenics war or the creation of genetically engineered slaves. Singh's plan seems to align more with the latter and not with the Federation's work. My guess is they copied our research, but not our motivations.
Which is precisely why all this sort of research is highly classified and treated as, well, controversial and highly supervised.
Looks like a security sweep can be deactivated from that console. Security functionality deactivated. Let's move on.
Before we move on, let's take a look at that device.
I'm detecting life signs in the room ahead.
We find a security scanner, but can see the strange red material is reminiscent of the device we found at Khitomer. This scanner has been modified to not only search the immediate area, but also use tachyonic reverberance, which would make them sensitive to quantum signature fluctuations. Basically, anything out of phase with time or from another reality or timeline. Why would Bavat be worried about temporal interlopers?
KUVAN'MAGH, Grethor's gates stand ready to welcome you.
A Bavat welcoming committee. That's too kind. Remind me to thank him later with phaser fire.
The following room is a large server room with a few Klingon soldiers inside. They're quickly dispatched before an alarm can be raised.
That's all of them. Let's look around for anything that might help us.
We can see banks of servers, which, rather smartly, are each protected by a force field. But an unsecured console at the rear gives us more logs to pore through.
Amar Noonien Singh, Research Log File 22. Subject GU-75's DNA has begun to deteriorate after a couple of cycles. All attempts to stabilize the specimen's genetic sequence using molecular templating have failed. I will keep trying. Amar Noonien Singh, Research Log File 28. This will be my last entry on subject GU-75, who has begun to exhibit irrational and aggressive behavioral patterns. The specimen's enhanced strength make it difficult to control. Even the Klingon guards struggle to keep it subdued for testing. I will begin processing GU-75 for termination.
There's recent Starfleet logs too.
Doctor's Log Supplemental Stardate 86324.7. In preparation for the Khitomer ceasefire conference, I have been reviewing the Undine research stored in my holomatrix. One study from Stardate 51003.7 focuses in particular on the reprogramming of Borg collective nanoprobes for the purpose of destabilizing species 8472 cell structure, thereby neutralizing them.
That's the Doctor, and he's talking about the research that he was going to present at Khitomer. These are recent.
It appears that Seven and I pioneered research on species 8472, and that the Federation was the first and so far only alliance of people able to thwart the Undine. My hope is that we will soon be able to share this research with trusted allies.
Which was the plan, which pretty much cements it. The Doctor's species 8472 data was not the goal for Bavat.
I don't think Singh and Bavat are acting on behalf of the Klingon Empire. They must be acting independently.
Agreed. We are about to share our info on species 8472 with them anyway, which means it must be something else that the Doctor worked on. But this does look like it exonerates the Empire in these acts.
Looks like we can deactivate a security sweep from in here. This room is clear. Another security sweep. We should check this room. Some of these consoles are still active. No doctor in here, but maybe we'll find something that can help us.
You really can tell that this facility has just been overhauled to make do as a base.
Amar Noonien Singh, Research Log File 31. In the wake of Subject GU-75's termination, a new favorite has arisen amongst the augmented ranks. Subject GU-78 is strong, reliable, and obedient, despite the pain it is in. For now.
These are logs from Voyager.
Doctor's Log Supplemental, Stardate 54518.2. The genetic material retrieved from the unborn Klingon hybrid by the name of Miral Paris, sampled with the consent of her parents, Lieutenants B'Elanna Torres and Tom Paris, has proven a great success. The Klingon pilgrims from the IKS Shan have been cured of their illness. As a result, they now believe that Miral is what they call the kuvah'magh, a legendary Klingon figure who is foretold to heal all Klingons and restore them to their former glory. Quite the legacy to live up to for an unborn child. Miral is doing well. I know that the crew of Voyager will protect her, at least until she comes of age and chooses her own path. I expect there will come a day when the Klingon Empire will inquire about Miral Paris. However, modifying genetic material is a delicate topic, given the historical precedents. The eugenics wars, or the Klingon augment virus, both point toward the possibility of genetic alteration being used for nefarious purposes, such as creating biological weaponry, or even an army.
They're trying to create an augment army, maybe?
That must be exactly what Singh and Bhavat have planned, but why? The Klingon Empire already has a capable army. The rest of the log comes as no surprise to me. As I got older, my parents began to share stories from my childhood with me. The tale of the IKS Shan was one of them.
That's nice, but creating an augment army outside of the Empire's control?
You know the drill.
Right, dropping the scanners, moving on.
That's it. Deactivated. Let's keep moving. Klingon and Gorn life signs up ahead. Prepare for a fight.
The next room appears to be a mess hall. Several tables line the far wall under a window showing the mountainous blizzards beyond. We take up with guards here who seem to believe in Bhavat's goals.
Have you come as a sacrifice, kuvah'magh?
Where's Buch? The only thing I'm sacrificing is my time, you useless har.
Glory to the Gorn, and Bhavat the benefactor. All shall fall. This is the price.
These Gorn are too far gone and blinded by Bhavat's empty promises.
Surrender yourself, kuvah'magh, or prepare to die with dishonor.
That Gorn looks similar to the ones who disrupted the Khitomer conference. Let's press on. I'm sure the Doctor is counting on us. Tricorders are detecting a photonic signature further ahead. Lead the way.
So the Gorn here, who are opposed to Klingon rule, seem willing to work with Bhavat and Singh, not to mention other Klingons, in order to bring glory to the Gorn, restore them perhaps? Is this army that Bhavat's trying to make to be a Gorn army? We move on, and we can see that large portions of the wall are just the cavernous interior. The prison is clearly still built into the mountains.
There are too many security sweeps in this hallway to evade. We have to keep investigating to deactivate them somehow.
I'll say, unlike the corridors we passed earlier, this one is not passable without triggering an alarm.
This console doesn't appear to deactivate the security sweeps, but I see another one. This appears to be a security console connected to an audio-visual feed.
Oh, we found the surveillance. Let's see what Bhavat's up to, shall we?
The exobiology lab is ready, Bhavat. We are only missing the data.
Huicha! How hard can it be to retrieve data from a hologram?
Ambassador, may I remind you that I am the Emergency Medical Hologram Mark I. I served aboard the USS Voyager during
Silence! Do you wish to have your vocal interface deactivated, you insufferable tar? Quiet. Someone is watching.
Miral.
Hello, kuvah'magh.
Damn it, we've been detected. And he's taunting us. We need to come up with a plan. Quickly.
You heard the humming, right? Clearly that was meant for you.
I recognize that tune. It was a song he used to sing to me when I was a child. It was written by Kolar, commander of the IKS Shan and his people. The piece is dedicated to the kuvah'magh. The part the Doctor is humming goes, "Kuvah'magh, follow no longer. Find me when two warring houses have made peace, and as one grows stronger." It's the last stanza, symbolic of the kuvah'magh's agency and their choice to guide the Klingon people, or not.
Kuvah'magh, follow me no longer. He's telling us to retreat. Could be a trap.
Trap or not, I won't abandon him. There must be something else we can do. Maybe we can deceive Bhavat somehow, get him to tip his hand or release the Doctor for a price?
Well, it seems that part of all this was to lure you here too. The Doctor's knowledge of hybrid DNA and genetic modification, and a sample straight from the KUVA'Magh. What if we give him that sample?
That might just work. If they're willing to go to these lengths just to retrieve my genetic material, then surely they'd be willing to negotiate.
Right? And there's a lab here full of genetic data. Perhaps we can fabricate a false copy, something that passes cursory inspection but isn't from you.
Some security parameters were shut down when Bhavat cut the feed. Stay sharp. The area ahead is being scanned.
I see it. At least it's not as bad as it was, but this one's going to be trickier to evade. Okay. Go. And again.
We still need to get to the lowest level of the facility.
And you... never didn't have it. This looks to be the main generator room. Shame it's all protected by force fields. We head round the corner and down, emerging into what can only be described as a genetic laboratory.
This must be the exobiology lab.
Gee, what gives it away? Would it be, I don't know, the corpses in flasks?
You know, I minored in biogenetics at Starfleet Academy. Time to put those skills to good use.
We do a quick sweep of all these test tubes and find inert Gorn in each one. Nothing stirs, none of them appear to be alive. They are all failed subjects. Having deemed the area secure, we move to the laboratory table, where we can find several different vials of various compounds, including...
a sample of human genomic base pairs. Creative, but I'm not sure about adding Gorn chromosomal markers. A sample of Klingon polynucleotide clusters. This mix might just do the trick, at least for now. Time to enact our plan.
So we'll just do a crude melding of human Klingon DNA in a vial so it looks the part and hopefully trade that for the Doctor.
The data has almost been decrypted, Bhavat. Soon, we will be able to dispose of the hologram.
Miral, what are you still doing here? I mean, a Klingon hybrid I have never seen before.
Don't worry, Doctor. We're here to break you out.
Lieutenant Miral Paris, or should I say kuvah'magh, here to take your friend's place? He's kept your seat warm.
Let him go.
And why would I do that?
Because we have what you need. A sample of my DNA. The missing piece to your scientific puzzle. You're creating an army, right?
I am creating a movement. Soon all will pledge their allegiance to the new Klingon Empire and bow before its ruler.
That's only a fantasy without my DNA, Bhavat. I'll give you the sample if you release the Doctor.
Miral, I strongly advise you do not.
You're bluffing. Hand it to my assistant, now.
Let the Doctor go first.
Fine. Free the captive, Singh.
I know I don't like him, but good catch.
This is a ruse. A counterfeit. Now, Singh.
Let's see how you fare against my latest experiments.
Confirm. Ready.
The Doctor's genetic research will have to do for now. Time is on my side. Can you say the same, kuvah'magh?
We can't let him escape!
Miral, no! It's too dangerous! I'll go!
I love you, but you've got to trust me. I have to go after him, and you're needed here. You're the galaxy's only hope against the Undine. I don't know where I'm headed, but if I make it, I'll give you a sign. Protect the Doctor. I'll go after Bavat. We'll meet again!
If you handle the fighting, I will search my database for intelligence on the Gorn. Should you require medical assistance, then I will be at your disposal, if you stay alive, that is. I'm a doctor, not a miracle worker. Gorn are ectothermic creatures, and therefore vulnerable to the cold. Use your environment. They are also apex predators, with instinct-driven threat responses. Augmentation has driven these Gorn to insanity.
Thank you, Doctor. So there is no reasoning with them. We heard Amar talking about how these Gorn's minds were uncontrollable and thereby failed experiments. But from what they are exhibiting now, he's made a lot of progress, as they're clearly almost physically unstoppable to small arms fire. They literally ignore all phaser and photon grenade damage. Nothing gets to them. Unless we lure one to the edges of the chamber where surplus cryogenic storage tanks are. Upon detonating these, the super Gorn are slowed as they succumb to the cold-blooded nature of reptilian lifeforms and their metabolism and healing slows. We have to do this repeatedly, but it seems the wounds inflicted while they are chilled linger and they become more lethargic as the temperature plummets. Soon, the three beasts Singh unleashed are slain, and I feel kinda sorry for them.
You've weakened them. Keep it up. It's our only chance to make it out alive. What a fight. I was anxious, even as an onlooker. Well done. We've got an unethical scientist on the loose. Where is Singh?
That ran, but I think Singh went this way.
I am registering his biosignature, coming from a nearby transporter room.
Oh, that's not good. Yep, we need to hustle. Fortunately, it seems this ramshackle facility has failed Singh one more time, as the transporters appear to be inoperable and he's throwing a bit of a tantrum.
This is Singh. IKS Warwick. Come in. Anyone!
Not so fast, Singh. The jig is up.
Fine. But if you think apprehending me will have any effect on my plans with Bavat, you are deluded. Bavat has the genetic data he needs to proceed. None of you will be able to change that. Not even the kuvah'magh. In time, Bavat will convince her to join his 10,000 augment army. It's the prophecy.
Well, I've read your prophecies on the journey here, and apparently the kuvah'magh would defeat any army, not lead it. So, consider this the defeating part. Amar Noonien Singh, you're under arrest.
All of your ruses are pitiful. Your genetic concoction of Klingon and human DNA did not even pass a visual inspection. Do you think Bavat and I cannot recognize a vial originating from our own laboratory? Even your holographic doctor must have realized that. But you are too simple-minded to understand our greater scientific plans. Like an insect waiting to be squashed in the palm of a god.
Really? And yet here you are alone. Sacrificed like the Gorn at Khitomer, the soldiers here, but that cast you aside as soon as he had the Doctor's data.
Silence! The kuvah'magh has followed Bavat as intended, and him and I have a deal. He will lead his army, and I will become a renowned ruler. Unlike the rest of the Noonien Singh lineage who have lost their way, I will become the father of a new generation of augments. You, on the other hand, will rot in Aurora Pente cell once all of this is over. Bavat's means transcend time itself.
Bavat is off following his schemes, and you are not. You were left to run, like the coward, from your crimes, and now you're going to enjoy your time in my brig. Then a Federation prison. Beam him up.
I've dealt with my fair share of rude scientists during my time aboard Voyager, but Amar Noonien Singh might just take the cake. Now that this area is secure and our culprit has been caught, I wanted to thank you for coming to my rescue. I know our mission isn't over yet. Bhavat is still at large, with morale trailing not far behind, I'm sure.
Sorry we didn't make it sooner. It sounded like they managed to extract some knowledge from you anyway. I hope you're okay. But what bothers me is, now he's gone, he did mention time.
Yes, he did. I suggest we return to where we last saw Bhavat and investigate the area. I'm sure we will find something that will enlighten us on the matter. Besides, it might increase our odds of finding Miral sooner rather than later.
I did see something while I was skirmishing those Supergorn. A tear, a ripple where the portal was.
Nothing a tricorder scan won't illuminate.
And sure enough, like a smoking cinder, there is a slight ripple, almost crack in space-time.
Oh my. Your scans reveal the presence of residual chronoton particles. That, my friend, suggests a temporal aperture once existed in this very space.
I thought as much. So that portal that Bhavat opened wasn't just through space, but time as well. Can we track where and when it led?
I'm afraid it will be difficult to pinpoint on our own. I suggest you report back to Starfleet for now. I am sure Command will want to hear all about this. I can say Captain Shan will be enthused about Miral's disappearance, and I do feel somewhat responsible for that. I'll break the news to him when we return, but I expect he will contact you later. We'll be counting on you to find her.
Okay. I don't know when or how yet, but we will track down Miral. We promised Captain Shan.
My army promises glory to the Empire and its great houses. A new dawn, a new era for the worthy warrior. Together, we will finally become an empire worthy of Hale. We will wipe out the Federation and conquer their people once and for all. Kapla!
KUVAN'MAGH! KUVAN'MAGH! KUVAN'MAGH!
Bhavat! Where am I?
I wish I could say our mission was a total success, but my chief of security is unaccounted for, and the conference hasn't unfolded as President Okeg had hoped. Bhavat is still out there somewhere, but there's still a glimmer of hope in all of this. Somehow, Captain Cogran has convinced the High Council to consider the ceasefire. What's more, Starfleet Intelligence has asked me to relay an unusual message. Apparently, they received an encrypted transmission from Lieutenant Paris, addressed to you. The stardate attributed to it is unexpected. Even so, you have my thanks for retrieving the Doctor, and for bringing Amar Noonien Singh to justice. I'm putting my faith in you. Track down Bhavat to ensure he answers for his crimes, and bring Miral home.
With that, we report our mission completed and set a course back for Earth. The vanishing of Bhavat and Miral needs to be chased up. And perhaps this message, when we finally receive it, will be of some clarification, but until then, we're going to have to wait for the next part of the story, as we move into the next chapter of the story series. And I hope you'll join me for this undiscovered future ahead. Until then, I've been Rick. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.